Good morning.
Warning signs.
Warning signs. Good morning, everybody. Pardon me while I just clear the previous reading.
The wayward spirit.
Just want to do some energy experiments today. I just want to do some energy experiments today. Good morning, everybody. So far, Spirit said, my profession, red rum, but not red rum, but MURDER, which could be metaphorical, doesn't have to be literal, okay? But hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Let me clear the field. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Patience. I'm your favorite spirit medium, Patience with Spirit. I'm here with my very own spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle. Thank you so much to Spirit, honestly. I thank them every day, but I just don't think you can thank anything enough. So thank you. We've had some exciting things coming up. If you go check out our social media, you can see some of the things we've been up to. It's been really fun to say yes to the opportunities that we're attracting and to not let fear get in the way of accepting them. So we try to document as much of our journey as possible just to show you our ascension process. Not to show you how to do it like us, but to show you that it's being done and that you're not alone and that it's absolutely possible to awaken your spiritual abilities and to have a relationship with your spirit team. We want to show you in real time what that's looking like for us. So our spirit team has guided us to use the social media platforms to document the data that we gather from our observations and from our experiences by using spirit guides advice in real time. So Sarah again, except say SARA.
What is happening?
What is happening? So we've been observing by using this platform to develop our spiritual abilities, which everybody has, by the way. Everybody has them. They tell you that they're evil because they don't want you to know that you have the ability to read minds and to read energy, because then if everybody knew how to do that, then you wouldn't be able to be lied to. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. So everybody has spiritual abilities. Everyone has had experiences. Everybody has known when someone was going to call them or when they shouldn't, go any further with someone. Just lots of instances where your intuitive abilities, whatever you want to label them, were activated and you use them. And that is what we have labeled psychic. And yes, because we live in a dualistic world, there are people who have psychic abilities that don't use them for good, and there are people who have them that do, okay? Just like Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, okay? Yeshua taught Mary Magdalene how to use her spiritual abilities, okay? I'm snowed in with my wife. Please help me. I can't take it anymore. Well, hopefully you have a separate room in the house. You can go just be by yourselves in your separate corners. That could apply to Lisa. We're doing an energy experiment today. So we have been observing that by looking at energy and then answering the call for whatever energy steps forward, it does something. It does something to transmute that energy, okay? And in a multitude of ways. It's a multiverse, it's multidimensional, it has multi-dimensional capacity, okay? Thanks, girl. Just got here. What are we talking about? Hey, Emma. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. Yes. So we're learning about energy. That's what our platform's for, we're doing an energy experiment. I have observed that when someone of a spiritual authority or someone who has spiritual abilities answers the call, the energetic telephone call for a specific soul, and they're able to speak for that soul or give a message from that soul, or are able to tell the story of the soul, or I love you too, or what, anything like that, or just have a message of truth that the soul never got to tell or never got to speak of, or any kind of trauma that the soul was holding when they crossed over, anything that's preventing them from going home. We are finding that by any soul that is called to our frequency or our signature that we answer the call for, we can and have the ability to walk that soul home if they're stuck in purgatory, or if there's some unfinished business or some resentments or things that need to be cleared up. We can do that for them. And so I've been taking that very seriously, because how else would they do it? How else would they do it? I'm not sure. I'm learning as we go with you guys, so I'm definitely not an expert. I don't have all the answers. I am learning my own abilities, and sometimes I misinterpret the information, or sometimes I don't answer the call because I'm not getting the clues. I do have a full life outside of this platform, so we do the best we can. But we do have time today, so we want to take advantage of any moments that we have to be of service, even to those who have crossed over, who are stuck. So we get names. We get a lot of names. And a lot of the time, I don't have anyone in my life who's current to the name. And so then that's like another clue that I know that this is somebody that sees my signal in the astral realm, that I'm opening up my bandwidth, or I'm opening up my signal or my line for them to come and to give me clues. Sometimes it takes a little bit for me to get it, especially if I'm not connected to the soul energetically. But one of the names was Lisa. Okay, I don't know any. I've known Lisas, but I'm not close to any Lisas. I did get baptized, yes. I don't have any friends that are Lisa, so I don't know what Lisa wants to share with us. I don't know what's going to come out. I don't control what comes out. I just try to do my best to be there for the soul that has a message, and do my best to interpret the information while using my spirit team. Okay? So thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I don't know if anyone knows anyone named Lisa, but we're going to talk to Lisa today, okay? So let's clear everything for Lisa so we can get a good jump start into her energy, okay? Lisa, thank you so much, Holy Divine Spirit. I ask Archangel Michael to step into my field with Lisa for protection so we can get a higher perspective of Lisa's linear view. Lisa, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the angels. What is going on? I was getting something about tanning. I know that's weird, but I was getting something about tanning, looking good, exercising. Reese's Puffs, eat them up. That's so funny, because I've been getting stuff about Reese's Puffs as well. I've never had them. I don't like Reese's. I think, no offense if you like Reese's, but I think most of the candy is disgusting. No voodoo is gonna stop the God in me, that light in me. Yeah, you spelled light, L-I-T-E. And I was getting something about a tanning bed and like body image. So I don't know if Lisa cared about that, or there's something about that when it involves a Lisa, but I was getting that in my meditation a second ago. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to try to clean up my mess as best as possible. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Oh, these fell out when I was just cleaning up everything. Gambling in reverse, sexuality, and health in reverse. Someone's still figuring themselves out. Problems with addiction or gambling and bad finances, but in reverse. So it could mean in the past, or it could mean that they can't stop it, or it could mean that they something that tried to, something was with their health, something with their sexuality. They took a gamble in the past. They could have died because of something with their health. Possibly they took a gamble with something that when it comes to their sexuality or sex or something like that. I got these 2 books yesterday from Savers. I want to go get them. Give me 2 seconds, okay? I'm so sorry. Okay, so I got these 2 books. Holy shit, you're jaundice. Hep C, your liver failure. You guys are so obsessed with the color of my skin. It's really makes me question you guys. So one of the books I got was Sparks of Phoenix. And I like that it says Sparks of Phoenix, not Sparks of the Phoenix. I don't know, I just like that. I mean, the black community is going strictly white and black. All other cultures are gonna have to leave. What are you talking about? Why would you say that? What are you talking about? I don't understand people. If you want to watch humans do weird things, make yourself alive and then see the comments that people make. They're like, it should be a show or something. They should definitely make like a show out of people's live comments. It's just wild. So I got these 2 books. I got Sparks of the Phoenix. They're like, and look how cool the cover is. It's so pretty, right? It's like, you hit me with your pain and I turn into poetry. They're like little poems. I thought that was so cool. You look at me and wonder how I can be so strong while I'm fighting wars inside. Some days I win, some days I lose, but both days I smile. I love that. Right? So cool, right? And then the other one I got was The Dictionary of Omens and Superstitions. Get right, get the best, because people say the craziest things and it makes no sense. The Spirit just said sense, makes no sense, doesn't apply to anything. So very funny. Watch out, junior college grad with a stream. I don't know what that means, Nathan. Why are you green? Who cares what color I am? What if I were blue? What if I were red? Who cares? If I were blonde, if you saw a podcast, you wouldn't know what color I am. As a mod, I've seen it all. I know sometimes I'm sitting there trying to figure it out, and I have to finally just be like, oh, we're just trying to get me because weird. Yeah. Just... You guys, I'm going to say this one time. I'm not jaundice. Okay? It's my light. Okay? Use your brain. Think more broadly, okay? Think more openly. If I'm sitting in front of a light and my skin is yellow, maybe the light is yellow. You guys need to use some critical thinking, okay? Critical thinking. You're too idiot. I didn't say it. I just opened the book to it, okay? I did not say it. Seriously. Oh no, they got you on the flute too. I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. People legit do not use their brain. Think like a beauty school dropout. Spirit had your back on that one. Seriously. Seriously. Because it's just, you really get to see where people are at on their journey when it comes to these lives. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone, there's a time in my life where, I wasn't where I'm at today. So I'm here for it. How much for a handy with a tug and chug? Oh, thank you so much. All right. I let you guys have your fun, and now it's Lisa's turn, okay? This is Lisa's message. I'm not going to waste time on you guys that are so mature. You're probably 12 years old. Okay, so I opened up my book, The Dictionary of Omens and Superstitions to Idiot, at the right time, divine timing. It says, although it may seem rather bizarre and unfeeling today, many people believed it was a good omen to meet an idiot when on some important task. Fishermen in particular held that to cross the path of anyone who was mentally unbalanced when going to their boats would ensure a safe and successful voyage. The origin of this superstition is that all such people are God's poor, and despite their limitations are blessed in their own way. It is interesting to note, too, that in Old English the word silly meant blessed. Really? That is fascinating. So Lisa could have met or have known someone who had mental illness, or although it may have seemed rather bizarre, many people believed it was a good omen to meet an idiot and a fisherman. To cross the path of anyone who is mentally unbalanced when going to their boats would ensure a safe and successful voyage. So Lisa's saying that she was an idiot because even though she thought it was bizarre and it didn't sit right with her, she may have believed somebody who is also an idiot, who may have been a fisherman, metaphorically, someone who can create something, someone who can make something, someone who maybe a fisherman of money, or a fisherman of authority, something like that. Lisa entrusted them with an important task. Even though it was bizarre, they believed them because they thought that this person was bringing them some kind of catch, that it was a good omen. But now that they've crossed over the path that they've took with someone, they realize that someone may have been mentally unbalanced. And even though they were promised some kind of safety or good omen or
I
successful
am scared.
voyage, clearly that was a poor judgment on their part, because despite their limitations, meaning things that, because I have bad health, gambling, and sexuality, despite their limitations, they thought that they were going to continue to get blessed. And that's why, and it says that in Old English, the word silly meant blessed. So even paranormal activity. So they were doing things and experiencing, and this says superstition, and Spirit said paranormal activity. Is it the yo-yo thing that comes in and out? Spirit said bar. Oh, hello, Robin. Hi, Robin. Hi, Robin. Thanks for being here. We are reading of supernatural spirits. I'm reading the energy of Lisa. She may need help crossing over out of purgatory. There may be a message she has. I'm trying to do that for her. This is an energy experiment for that. Oh, thank you, Robin. Robin, I love you so much. Thank you. Yep, they got you too. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me. You and I both know what's going on. It's coming in fluctuations. Spirit said quiet, Joe. Spirit said be quiet. All right. So Lisa may have gone along with something that seemed bizarre, rather bizarre at the time, but because the person who was saying it to her, she believed them. She believed this person was a good person before she passed. There's something about this person that's related to her passing. She thought she was walking a path that was going to give her a successful voyage, that was going to give her safety, that was going to bless her in some way. But that was silly of her. But the thing is in Old English, the word silly means blessed. So she thought, even though it was she wasn't trusting her intuition about something. Someone was claiming something about somebody being an idiot, or someone she thought was important turned out to be an idiot or an unbalanced person, mentally unbalanced. Okay, meaning she trusted somebody who she didn't know was mentally unwell, that may have told her something bizarre, or had her believe something that was bizarre about somebody, or something that is paranormal, superstitious, and despite her limitations, meaning something with gambling and her health and her sexuality, and Spirit said bar, so she may have a drinking problem. She may have had a drinking problem. Despite these downfalls and these limitations, she still kept believing this mentally unwell person about how her blessings are going to encourage her. This person who's mentally unbalanced kept encouraging them to keep doing something bizarre and supernatural, even though it was giving her a bad feeling, and her limitations kept showing her that she was not blessed. She wasn't blessed. Okay, I hope that's clear for everyone. Oh, Robin, no, I love you so much. Robin, please don't give me your money. You give me so much energy. How do I send it back? How do I give it back to you? I'm gonna hop on your live and give you $2 back. truly believe that she is with me. Absolutely. She died of liver cancer. Maybe this person died of cancer. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. Okay. Lisa. What else? Let me look again. What else do you want to tell me? What about this unwell mental health person, Shadow? Shadow, shark, shaking hands, and sheep. Shadow, shark, shaking hands, and sheep. That's a lot. So, something about preventing a pregnancy. Something about sexual potency. Something about a generous mouth and a big vagina. And that's so funny because I have sexuality right here. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your support. So, this unbalanced person is the shadow, or the shark, or shark with a shadow. Let me see. There was an idea that a person had persisted with. There was an idea that someone's shadow was considered unlucky. Oh, particularly to the owner of the shadow. I gotcha. So this person who's mentally unwell may have been speaking of somebody in particular, saying that they had a shadow. And to Lisa, it seemed bizarre that they were saying or speaking of this person in this way, but Lisa didn't seem to put up too much of a fight about it, because it says stones or pebbles fall on a person's shadow because she has. This also says death omen. The owner's soul can be offered. The idea that a shadow is somehow a part of a person has persisted in many places, and in most of these, it is considered unlucky to walk on one.
Ominous presence.
Particularly to the owner of the shadow. In certain mountainous regions, it is said to be a death omen if stones or pebbles fall on a person's shadow, while in parts of Europe where the shadow is seen as a manifestation of the owner's soul. To step on one is one of the worst insults that can be offered. In Wales, if anyone sitting around the fireplace on Christmas Day casts a shadow with no head, it is said that they will die during the coming year. Confirmation. So Lisa may have been part of some kind of dark omen, something having to do with a death omen. Something about not owning her own soul's shadow. Something about insults being offered towards a person's shadow. Persistent action in one's shadow. Throwing stones. It kind of reminds me of that saying that Yeshua said when they were about to stone Mary. And then he was like, let he who doesn't cast a shadow through the first stone or something. A shadow with no head. A shadow of no head could mean that she was casting stones at somebody's shadow instead of looking at her own. She was cutting her own head off by not looking at her own shadows, but speaking about someone in particular's shadow, or persistent, unlucky.
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. She's like, yes, all of that. Yes, thank you, Robin, my guardian angel. Lake Superior! Hey, Lake Superior! My buddies are here!
Enchanted forest.
So we're talking to Lisa today. Lisa, I'm doing an experiment. I've been getting the name Lisa a lot. And you guys know who watch me from past readings, I've been observing that by speaking a message for the crossover people in purgatory, it helps them cross over, or it helps enact the ball rolling for justice that needs to be served. Because it would seem, and I'm not an expert, and you guys help me out if you've noticed this, but it would seem that God's using readers to enact justice, because the people who cross over in certain situations aren't being justified. HIV. Spirit just said HIV, and I have sexuality right here. Sexuality. Spirit just said HIV. God's using the readers to enact justice, because justice can't be served energetically until the truth it comes to light. So even if the truth isn't said directly to the people involved, the crossed over soul can at least let go of whatever burden could have been created. So Lisa came to me. Okay. Okay, so something about HIV, you guys. I have health in reverse, sexuality, and gambling. Took a gamble, okay? Because there's something about her joining or believing somebody who was mentally unwell, somebody who gave them an idea, a person who persisted in many places, somebody who is generally considered unlucky, this unwell person, someone who created a death omen, because they have a shadow that they're refusing to look at, and the shadow is now involving other people. And I have a lot of sex references. I have impotence, I have pregnancy prevention, I have sexual potency, generous mouth, big vagina, something like that. Okay. Sex weakens the heart and leads to blindness. What is this? Sex. Okay, I'll read it, because I have sexuality and Spirit said HIV. Page 203, 202, I have the number 7, could be significant. 22 and 7. 1, 2, 3. Lance. The fact that only in recent years has sex ceased to be a taboo subject and at last become openly discussed between the young and old is the obvious reason why most of the extraordinary superstitions which surround the topic have survived for so long. Perhaps the most widely quoted of all such, sponge. Spirit said sponge. Isn't that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but every time I think of sponge, I think of Elaine from Seinfeld, and she bought all the sponges for her contraception, her birth control. She bought all the sponges. I don't know if you guys remember that. But something about having unprotected sex, something about a pregnancy, Openly discussed between young and old is the obvious reason why most of the extraordinary superstitions which surround the topic have survived for so long. Perhaps the most widely quoted of all such ideas is that men with large hands and feet have enormous penises, while a woman with a generous mouth is sure to have a big vagina. Equally widely held is the belief that Latin men and those from hot countries have more sexual potency because of the generative powers of the sun. I make mine crooked on purpose so people stare uncomfortably. I have same beat it as Seinfeld. Oh, that's so funny.
Ribald.
Spirit just said ribald. I don't know what that is. I gotta Google it. R-I-B-A-L-D? R-I-B-A-L-D? Let me see. Ribald. Referring to sexual matters in an amusingly coarse and irreverent way. Peyton. Synonyms for ribald include bawdy, lewd, raunchy, suggestive, earthy, spicy, risque, smutty. Damn, what is going on? Something vulgar regarding sexual matters. Spirit just said ribald, so definitely something crude, something explicit. Shadows of the past. Lisa may have died of HIV or got HIV or contracted HIV or loss of blood. Something about supernatural things, HIV, sex. There's something that she cannot... venereal disease, sexual passion, superstitions, sun lamps. I told you something about tanning. Something about drugs, cocaine, drinking, tanning, sex. She went on a journey to attack someone for no reason. She's thinking back to the times where she was with people who are living scattered lives that she really didn't talk to or communicate with. And they were creating death omens with conviction. They were flocking like sheep to explain away the presence of creatures. The sharks persisted in a group of 3 to bring death on a vessel. To bring death on a vessel to sailors. But the scent of death followed them in the presence of creatures. Because she couldn't say no to a vulture hovering over her. This could be the person with mental illness. Arguments would apply to the associated meeting of herded cows. Because these sheep like to line their pockets with the harbinger of good luck. Someone born close to Christmas. Someone who claimed to be a lamb of God or have some kind of godly powers, or someone who claimed to have something to do with God. Maybe that's why she trusted them or didn't think of because
Unquestionably.
unquestionably followed somebody who
Time on my hands.
who claimed to get messages from God. Even though they were bizarre messages, she didn't question it because she just didn't realize at the time. Can you please tell me more about this sex thing? Sounds like her psychic attack resulted in her demise. Maybe. Bats. There's something about her being surrounded by creatures. And Spirit said supernatural or paranormal activity. She could have been being haunted. Something she did that has to do with 3 people possibly. They don't communicate except for when they come together for some kind of yearly meeting or coffee meetup that ends in bathing in human blood. It says beauty. One of the simplest ways of acquiring beauty, according to superstition found in rural Britain and throughout much of Europe, is to bathe the body in dew collected fresh on the first day of May. For an all the year round course of treatment, the Germans simply recommend cups of cold coffee, while the Hungarians have the horrible idea that taking a bath in human blood will do the trick. Abigail? But something caused a disturbance in the atmosphere for the cattle and their young and their children. Something she found to be curious that may have brought whooping cough, health problems. Through the peril of her life would seem to outweigh the advantage of such a cure. And HIV, and Spirit said HIV. Spirit could be saying that whatever she was doing, where blood will do the trick, may have given her HIV, or she was doing something to cure HIV. I don't know. But there was a lot of things going wrong associated with the devil. Damn. Because this person, she didn't know it at the time when she was listening to this person. She believed this person wholeheartedly, but now that she's crossed over, she sees that this person was never talking to God. It was the devil. Okay, so whatever this person who was unwell mentally, they were lying to her. They were on the wrong side. She picked the wrong side. And there was something she was doing where even though she was being presented with limitations with her health, with things with her kids, things with her job, things with her health most of all, and addiction, and something about sex addiction, those things weren't showing her the truth. For some reason, she wasn't looking at those. She wasn't connecting those things to what she was doing because she believed somebody specific about how this person kept saying that they're a person of God and that God said to do this to cure something or to get a blessing. And in the other passage it said an old English translation of silly is blessed. So she thought it was silly and kind of bizarre, but she didn't question this person. I want to know more about who this person was to you. Why would you, I mean, I just assume right off the bat, and we'll see, but I mean, if you believe bizarre things that someone say, you must be like kind of close to them, right? It must be somebody that you're close to, that you believe in, that you believe has your best interest at heart. You know, that's why it's really important, Spirit says, to really work on your own discernment. And even though discernment's half the battle and you have to actually like put that into action, you do have to come to the realization that not everybody is truthful about where they're at in their mental illness, and not everyone has your best interest at heart. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And so this is somebody who outwardly seems very ambitious, driven by a strong desire to achieve goals and success. Just because somebody's mentally unwell doesn't mean they can't have ambition. It doesn't mean that they can't exhibit strong will or resiliency. Okay? This is somebody who bounces back from setbacks. And in the passage before, it said that this person that we're trying to get information about exhibited lots of bad luck. So somebody where something bad is always happening to them. We should really look at that. If something is, it's pretty healthy for it to come up and down. Sometimes you're going to be in a high season. Sometimes you're going to be a low season, usually. But if somebody's consistently and constantly in a state of chaos, or things always go wrong for them, they always have to be trying multiple different ways to get something going, I think that we can take that as a pretty clear sign that they're not just being perseverant or resilient. There's something off. Why do bad things keep happening to you? How come nothing you do works out initially? Like so there's something about this person, okay, being like that, decisive. And she said, I need to leave. And in the passage it said, this person who claimed to have godly messages or whatever, it seemed bizarre what they were saying at the time, and they felt uneasy about it, but it still didn't make them separate. It still didn't make them leave this person. It wasn't enough for Lisa to see that this person may be mentally unwell. And it also said that they don't communicate often enough to really, I mean, it's not like living with someone. If you're just talking on the phone here and there, major spiritual warfare, it could be. Spirit said supernatural, paranormal activity. Okay, but Lisa was trying to be open-minded. She was, she's like, well, what do I know about what you're saying? If you say that I could get blessings by doing this, what if I can? What if doing it isn't a big deal and I could, because there's something about this person, could have a lot of abundance. So they look at this person like, oh, well, okay, so things sometimes don't work out for them, but they're very ambitious and they're resilient. And I'm going to be open-minded to what they're telling me, because even though it's kind of bizarre and it's kind of out there, I want to be open-minded, I want to be open-minded. And it's also over sexuality. So it could be somebody that they had sex with or had a sexual relationship with. Something irresponsible. On top of health. Something irresponsible. And Spirit just said, say no. Something they should have said no to. This could have been the thing that got them HIV or made them cross over. I'm going to look in Sparks of Phoenix. Thank you, Lake Superior. All right, Lisa, tell me more about this person you trusted that said that they were God or whatever they said. We don't relive our pain because we want to, but because it took parts of us that we can never get back. We are grieving while healing. I told you once I'd hate to write a heartbreak poem about you one day. You got angry and said that would never happen. I already promised you that I will never walk away, but here I am, writing pages and chapters to cleanse my soul of the pain that you promised to protect me from. Oh, interesting. So this person, damn, something about the liver and pituitary glands. So, this person that is claiming to have messages from God, that's not God, it's the devil. They got their heart broken, something about grieving, something about not wanting to relive pain. There's also something about being angry at God for taking someone, or Spirit said fortune, being mad at God for something that was promised to them but was taken away. I told you once I'd hate to write a heartbreak poem about you one day. You got angry and said that would never happen. I already promised you that I will never walk away, but here I am, writing pages and chapters to cleanse my soul of the pain that you promised to protect me from. Yeah, something about being mad at God for taking someone away, or for not protecting them from something. Oh, I'm sorry, I have spirit phlegm. Spirit just said fat, and in the beginning of the reading I said this person seems to be very very concerned with like tanning and fitness and body image and looks, things like that. They could have possibly gained a lot of weight from the HIV, or I don't know. Something about HIV and being fat. My wounds teach me not to hurt others. You say you want a good woman, and here I am standing in front of you with goodness pouring out of my soul, yet you see right through me as if I don't exist. You say you want a faithful woman, and here I am with commitment beaming out of my eyes, yet you look right past me as if you don't care about honesty. Huh. Lisa, are you saying that this mentally unwell person wanted to be with you? Lisa, are you saying that this unwell person had sexual relations with you? Yes. Are you saying that this mentally unwell person wanted to be with you? Yes. Are you saying that this unwell person claimed to get messages from God? Yes. Is there a reason you couldn't be with this person? Is this person related to you? Is this mentally unwell person sick? Are they the reason that you crossed over?
Reverberation of time.
You said you were related to this person, but you also said they want to be with you. Are you saying that a family member wanted to be with you? And right here, this card isn't even, I'm not even doing these cards. It says itchy, meeting an old friend or enemy, advance in position or a loss, someone speaking of you or for you, the better or worse, discovering a legacy or sorrow, joy or disappointment. I'm just like, still like, so someone that they're related to, you know what? Lisa, you say this person is related to, are they a brother? Are they a sibling? No. Are they an aunt or an uncle? No. Are they a mother or father? No. Are they a cousin? Are you saying that this mentally unwell person is your cousin? Are you saying this mentally... Sure. Are you saying that they were telling you they were getting messages from God? When you crossed over, did you find out that their messages were really coming from the devil? Is there something that you guys would do together that you thought was bizarre? Did you two have relations with each other? I'm not judging it. I'm not judging it. I'm not judging it. I'm not judging it. Anyway, I'm off. I apparently keep sleeping and waking up every 10 to 20 minutes. Okay, goodbye. Lauren, let's get married in Mandarin. That's all you need, right? Okay. Yes, crazy development. That's the shadow. So why did you sleep with this person? Why did you sleep with your cousin? Why did you do that? Life is short and the world is wide. Just young, dumb, and full of, you know what, I guess. Just a fractured person, someone not in alignment, someone sowing their oats, someone trying to have fun. So they thought it would be fun. Little did they know. Yeah, they thought it would be fun. Something about Alice in Wonderland. They couldn't look at their own reflection, or the person that they thought was one way is severe. This person is very mentally unwell, and it could possibly be due to something that has to do with these messages that they've been getting. Lisa's saying that this person could smoke cigarettes. They could be crying, crocodile tears, trying not to let anyone know that they're all messed up. I see Puss in Boots because they're a liar. They lied about everything. They could have lied about someone's relationship, someone's connection to the divine. They could have lied about... I see a lot of Alice in Wonderland references on this card. They could have been like the Red Queen, painting the roses red. They could have drank the tea with the Mad Hatter. They were a very happy on birthday. They were in some kind of illusion, in a dream. They're in some kind of dream. Because they took a journey for money. They're trying to advance their position. She loves moonlight and rainstorms and so many other things that have soul. Flower. This unwell, Lisa's saying this unwell person they had their eye on some target, some flower, someone that exhibits a lot of soul, someone with warmth, someone who confirmation, who they're making out to be an enemy. That could have been something, or one of many things, bizarre things that they were being told. Don't follow me, I'm lost too. Don't follow me, I'm lost too. Something about someone who has soul this person was focused on. Someone who's in a relationship. Someone who walks with the divine. A high priestess. Someone who knows hidden knowledge. Someone who's cloaked and protected by the divine. And Spirit said flower, and look, she's got flowers all over her cloak. Someone protected. Make yourself proud. Someone who makes themselves proud, that doesn't need outward validation. Something about them. They could be an alien. This person that's mentally unwell that Lisa's speaking about, they're cousins. It's her cousin. She said they were related, and she said that they had sexual relations, and it could have led to some sexually transmitted something, possibly HIV. Stay positive. Stay positive. HIV positive. I can't make it up. Stay positive. HIV positive. Lisa may have taken her own life because she was running away from the fact that she's HIV positive, because she's very promiscuous, or she did promiscuous things with family members. Possibly this cousin. Yeah, another woman. 2 women. She has a tattoo that says truth. It says truth. Wow. She has a tattoo on her boobie that says truth. Why did you have relations with your cousin? And the cousin might be gay and might be upset that this cousin didn't want to have a relationship with her. Yeah, the unwell person could be like in their masculine energy, someone who suppresses their sexuality. Which of all my important nothings shall I tell you first? Jane Austen. Which of all my important nothings shall I tell you first? Well, give me one more and then we'll move on. You can tell me more about why you slept with them. Weird hill to die on, but at least you're dead. A weird hill to die on, but at least you're dead. Yeah, there's a lot of bizarre things this person did with this family dynamic. One person in particular is fixated on a high priestess energy, someone who's divinely guided and protected. Their relationship also. How do I find that out? They could have been focused on them because of their soul, something about their soul. Something about their soul attracted this person, perhaps in like an obsession. Let's see. Let's do. Let's do what do you meme?
When someone is grieving.
When someone is grieving. That's right. That passage said something about when they lost somebody or something happened to them or they were grieving. They lost somebody. And that's kind of what started this world of shit. When your grandma sneaks $40 into your pocket on your way out. When your grandma sneaks $40 into your pocket on the way out. So this cousin could have been paid. Could have been paid to do bizarre things with this cousin.
Harvest.
Do I have a blonde streak in my hair? I have a gray hair. I got some gray hairs coming. Harass. Spirit even said harass. So they could have been paid by this cousin to do bizarre things or to keep quiet or to, this cousin could have been like, hey, you want to hang out? And then Lisa says, yeah, sure. Because why wouldn't you want to hang out with your cousin? And then they just like slyly sneak you $400 and say, hey, would you mind? I'll pay you to do this thing with me. And the face of this cat, it's like reluctancy. It's like, well, I guess I'll take it. It's like, if a cat could have a face of reluctancy. Okay. When your crush borrows your ruler and asks why there's a mark at 2.5 inches. Something about having a micro penis. Someone has a micro penis. Or somebody may have like something going wrong with their penis or with their libido or Or something about this cousin saying that their person has a micro penis and that they're sexually frustrated, and would you mind having sex with me? Something. I'll pay you $400 because I don't get any at home. Something like that. That could have been one of the bizarre things that she was like, oh, I guess. When you're floating face down in the pool pretending to be dead for attention and nobody cares. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I did my hair today. I always feel a little better when I do my hair, so I try to do that. When you're remote road, when you're floating face down in the pool pretending to be dead for attention and nobody cares. It kind of reminds me of like a sadist. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever like known someone who has like sadistic characteristics, and they get that like weird smirk on their face when you tell them something like bad happened to you, or you know, something, like they get that like weird, or like it reminds me of this one time, and I'm not saying that my sister's a sadist. I mean, she could be, but I don't talk to her. But there's this one time when we were taking a wood chipper out of the back of this van, and I didn't know it was going to be so heavy, and I was standing inside the van, and oh my god, I was just thinking office. I thought that was in an office, and I was just thinking office. And it was so heavy that I dropped it, but when I dropped it on the ground, and it was so heavy that, like, you know, letting go of it made me fall, and I almost like cracked my head open. And she had this, it almost threw me in the wood chipper, and she had this smirk on her face, and she was laughing, and I got so offended by that, because I was like, oh my god, I could have just like died, and I don't know why you're laughing. That's what this reminds me of. Okay, so something about, you know, this cousin will be like telling her cousin, you know, things that are going wrong in her life, possibly having to do with like the limitations in her life, and this person just always has this weird little smile on their face. I said her because it has a pink thing on, but okay. Yeah, it was so bizarre. I was like, what the fuck are you laughing? That's fucking weird, weirdo. I would never laugh at someone. I'd at least ask them if they're okay first. Yeah, exactly. When you sneeze and your grandpa offers you an old crumpled hanky from his khakis.
Set.
Something about a grandfather or a father figure. Maybe that's the grieving. Maybe this unwell cousin lost a father figure or a grandfather. Oh, mood. Oh, she said mood. Are you saying this is you, or are you saying that this is your cousin? The mood. She said mood. She could have felt, you know, this person looks kind of like out of their body, just kind of like thinking of all the things that are bizarre about this person. this cousin may bring up, oh, old offers. This cousin may bring up old things that they did with each other from the past. They may bring this up on occasion for some reason. Why would they bring this up? When a friend you don't even like that much asks you to help them move. Oh, because this cousin that they had relations with is always asking them for bizarre things. And every time this person calls, Lisa thinks, oh, I'm gonna get to talk about granddad, and I'll get to have someone to talk to about the limitations I'm going through. But every single time this cousin calls them, it's like, hey, you want to hang out? And then they'll be like, yeah, and they'll be pretending the whole time that they're listening and that they care, but they have this stupid smirk on their face, even when they're telling them like the most awfulest things. And then at the end of the conversation, they'll spring it on them, like give them $400 and say, hey, by the way, I need your help with something. Blackmail, yeah. And if they say no, if Lisa says no, and then they bring up the thing that they did in the past, well, remember that time when we were 14 and we ate each other out in the backyard shed, things like that. And so that really messes this person up because they don't want to deal with that. When YouTube gives an unskippable ad, again, and at the bar, this could have led to her having a lot of mood swings, drinking, drugs, because there's something that she feels obligated to do that's very bizarre, that causes her to have mental anguish, that she gets blackmailed for by this cousin. And I don't know what it is. I'm going to do one more of these and then we'll try to clarify. When you're shopping for art and the painting of a smiley face costs $15,800. When you're shopping for art and the painting of a smiley face costs oh, that's so funny. Where's that sticker? Oh, shit. Spirit. So check this out. This sticker says art. And look at this. When you're... Oh, wait. Where'd it go? When you're shopping for art and the painting of a smiley face costs $15,000. So something about buying something about investing with this cousin. Like this cousin comes to them and says, after Lisa tries to talk to them, she thinks they're coming together to just hang out and talk to each other. But no, this cousin has an ulterior motive. Something that she needs money for. Something that's very expensive. When you're shopping for art. And the ART is over Alice in Wonderland. Illusions. Shopping for something. Shopping for art. And the painting of a smiley face costs $15,000. So something that this cousin needed money for. She asked Lisa for money to do so she could do something. Possibly, she might not have told her what it was for. She may have said that it was for an art piece or something, but that was a lie. It was for something different. Because Lisa was like, well, what the hell? Why does it cost so much? Why does it cost so much? Why do you need so much money? Oh, it's for this piece of art I want to buy. You want $15,000 for a piece of art? Something like that. When they sit another family with you at the hibachi table. Oh no, baby, what is you doing? Oh no, baby, what is you doing? When they sit another family with you at the hibachi table. It says, oh no, baby, what is you doing?
Future.
Future.
20.
20. This reminds me of Blair Witch Project when the people are facing the wall. It could have been for spell work. It could have been for spell work. $15,000 to do some kind of spell. And this reminds me of the meme when it says your spirit guide's looking at you like this. Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's do
Christopher.
Spirit said Christopher. I don't know if there's a Christopher in this equation. Let's do imagine ifs. Lisa, what the hell? 3. Imagine if they had to sing at a karaoke bar. Stand by your man. Stand by your man. Stand by your man. I don't know the other lyrics. Let's see. Stand by your man lyrics. I've been accused, among other things, of doing most of my writing for you ladies. But I didn't write a song special for you guys. Don't go away feeling slighted. This is special for you. Sometimes it's hard to be a woman giving, Spirit said waste, giving all your love to just one man. You'll have bad times and he'll have good times. Doing things that you don't understand. But if you love him, you'll forgive him, even though he's hard to understand. And if you love him, be proud of him, because after all, he's just a man. Stand by your man. Give him 2 arms to cling to, and something warm to come to when nights are cold and lonely. Stand by your man and show the world you love him. Keep giving all the love you can. Okay. Stand by your man, and show the world you love him. Keep giving all the love you can. Stand by your man. Lisa, are you saying that the spell work was to get rid of someone's man? Was it to get rid of someone's man? Yes. Page of Pentacles. to get rid of someone's man and to get rid of someone's pentacles and to get rid of someone's job. That's why this phase, like, okay, you wanna what? What you doing? Let's roll another one. Some kind of spell work to get rid of someone's man. Hey, Ricardo! Hello!
Sounds like smoke.
Hello, welcome. 4. Imagine if they were a sea creature, and that passage before talked about creatures. Confirmation. Four, angelfish. That's why the spirit guides are like, because the spell work was to get rid of an angel's man, some kind of earth angel. Spell work against the earth angel. Earthly matters. Good news in earthly matters.
Entering the vehicle.
Scorpio could be significant. Her cousin, Lisa's cousin, blackmailed them to participate or give money towards a death omen to get rid of an earth angel's pentacles, relationships, and opportunities. She thought, she was told by her cousin that by doing this, you can count on blessings. I'm a scholar and a student of these things, and I can tell you for certainty that you're going to be blessed by doing this. So she reluctantly gave her money. But things started to go wrong for her. There was all kinds of things going wrong for her. Even though she was presented with limitations, she still kept believing this cousin. She still kept going with what this cousin was saying. Even though I don't think she knew at the time, I think she knows now that whoever she was doing spell work against was an earth angel. But the $15,000 was for some kind of like advanced spell work. I'm not Korean, but I'm 25% Japanese, so you were close. Imagine if they could be one of the following sportsmen. Number 6, Arnold Palmer. Golfer. Iced tea and lemonade. They might drink Arnie Palmies, iced tea and lemonade. They might have been playing a game. Tell me more about this unhealed person, this mentally unwell person. Imagine if they could watch only one of the following TV shows. Which would they watch? Melrose Place. Just the most dramatic show ever. Oh, look, and Seinfeld is on here. We're just talking about Seinfeld. All right, I'll do one more. Imagine if propose. Oh, because you know what? On this picture of this, remember I said earlier, someone's in a relationship. Doesn't it look like maybe they just proposed to them or something? They wanted to stop somebody from receiving a proposal, from getting pregnant, from having a relationship, or anything that's happy, okay? Imagine if blank were a 1990s movie, Pulp Fiction. There's so many things in Pulp Fiction. This person could drink Arnold Palmer's and love Pulp Fiction. And Alice in Wonderland. Imagine if they were a musician, Madonna. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees, I wanna take you there. In the midnight hour, I can feel your power, just like a prayer. I wanna take you there. Something at midnight. They do something at midnight. This cousin does something at midnight. Tell me why this cousin said they were talked to by God. What's that about? I have spirituality and the gentle life, or I have understanding grief. Which one should I look in? That song was her most controversial. Yeah.
Milestones.
It's like one of those things where the song is so pretty that you don't listen to what it's saying, but if you listen to what it's saying, she's talking about a ritual at midnight and calling on upon something at midnight. To relate the experience of your loss to a context of meaning. With the death of someone loved, your sense of the meaning and purpose of life is naturally questioned. You may discover yourself searching for meaning in your continued living as you ask how and why. How can God let this happen? Why did this happen now? Didn't I say that before? This cousin, her cousin, something happened when somebody died and they were mad at God. And so they called upon God. The thing is that when your energy is matching such a energy of anger and your grief is turning into the stage of anger, and then that's when you explore, it says right here, explore religious and spiritual values. And you start to explore those things because you want to understand why you lost someone that you're emotionally attached to. It seems like this person may have searched for a connection in that energy, and because of their spiritual naivety or perhaps the goggles of grief, they were not in the proper energy to match to something divine. And so they may have really thought that they were talking to God, and they may have really thought that they were talking to this crossed over loved one, but they were not. And because they were feeling so much grief and they were so powerless because of that grief, they were putting all of their intention into this connection that they developed with this otherworldly energy, and it gave them a sense of purpose. It gave them a sense of power, but power isn't the same as peace. Okay, power is not the same as peace. And so this person is communing and connecting with something else in an energy of anger to God, mad at God, Why did this happen? How can God let this happen? Why did you take them? And so death reminds us of our lack of control. And so this person already had mental disturbances. They already had that. And then when they lost somebody very close to them is when they snapped or something. Their identity got crushed. Do you have a support system that understands your changing identity? Yes or no? How do they communicate their understanding of your changing identity? Oh. There may have been someone in their life, possibly this person they wanted to break up the union of, that may have left them as well. There's a lot of people leaving their life, and someone actually crossed over. And so they have no control over who leaves them, but they're considering that some kind of powerlessness, that they have no purpose without these, because this person's very codependent. The person who died was a part of you. This death means you mourn a loss not only outside of yourself, but inside yourself. At times, overwhelming sadness and loneliness can constantly be with you. You may feel that when this person died, part of you died with him or her, and now you are faced with finding some meaning in going on with your life while you at times feel so empty. This death calls for you to confront your own spirituality. You may doubt your faith and have spiritual conflicts and questions raised. This is normal and part of your journey to renewed living. You might feel distant from your God or a higher power and question their ultimate existence. You may rage at your God. You are where you are right now. That is all right. Remember, often months of hard work are required to discover the basis of your continued living. But be assured it can be done even when you don't have all the answers. So this person's mental break and whatever and the spell work they were doing is directly associated with losing someone very close to them. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you should definitely run to God in all things. But I think, you know what, as I'm learning my mediumship and talking to crossed over loved ones, even from my own crossed over people, is that you're not attached to that. You're not attached to that person. Like you're not one symbiotic relationship. And well, I mean, you are, but what you missed most, now that I can speak to my grandma on the other side, what I'm recognizing that we're not taught in our society is that it's not them you're attached to, because you never become disconnected from them. You're never not in connection with them. You just become attached to their physical form, which was never them to begin with. And we become so attached to having that physical body that when that physical body dies, we can't imagine them any other way unless they're here physically. And that is what blocks us from experiencing them non-physically, is that strong emotional attachment to their physical body. But what I'm finding is that, yes, even though I do enjoy a hug, or I wish I could hug, or have that physical reciprocation, I can still feel it emotionally, and I can still feel that soul without their physical body, and I can still experience them. And even more so, I can actually know them and they can know me, because there's nothing, there's no guilt or shame or whatever interfering with the connection, and they can actually help me more where they're at than they could here in the physical realm. So I think that that's, something that we're not taught in our society. They teach it in, other cultures, but in America's culture, we consider death to be so final. It's like done. And then people are so scared to die because they're not convinced that there's anything else after. Yes, our hearts do more than our brains. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, ultimately, why I seek is the why of a final meaning. It is a why that becomes aware. Where am I at home with all these peculiar attitudes of mine? Asking this question is the same as Spirit said Larry and Philip. Asking this question is the same as asking, where am I accepted as I am? Whether or not I succeed in unearthing all these unconscious deforming influences. Where do I find a gentle and caring love that carries me as I am and makes my life meaningful in the deepest sense? Oh, cry. When I am merely introspective, I am a man without a home. Even the most clever psychiatric or psychological explanation cannot give me the ultimate home experience, so necessary if I want to live a life that is deeply joyful and wholly at peace in spite of sin, deviation, and limitation. When I do not have that sense of at-homeness, I feel alien in this universe. The world becomes a hostile place where gentleness is absent. When I experience no gentleness, when my faith in an infinite gentility dies, I cannot for long stay gentle myself. Feeling alone and threatened by the potential hostility of all that is not me, I necessarily develop attitudes of suspicion and defensiveness, of competition and envy. I become aggressive with myself. Lost in a universe that is no longer my home, I feel solely dependent on my own forces. It is a curse. I become aggressive with myself. Lost in a universe that is no longer my home, I feel solely dependent on my own forces. I feel as if I have to whip myself into shape, to force myself to effectiveness, to drive on relentlessly. How different my life would be were I define the mystery of divine presence as my lasting home. Oh, damn. Oh. Wow. The divine child, the Lamb of God. On that day you will say, I give you thanks, O Lord. Though you have been angry with me, your anger has abated, and you have consoled me. God indeed is my Savior. I am confident and unafraid. My strength and courage is the Lord, and He has been my Savior. With joy you will draw water at the fountain of salvation, and say on that day, give thanks to the Lord, acclaim His name. Among the nations make known His name. Among the nations make known His deeds. Proclaim how exalted His name. Sing praises to the Lord for His glorious achievement. Let this be known throughout all the earth. Shout with exultation, O city of Zion, for the great in your midst is the Holy One of Israel. Thank you! Thank you for all of my blessings. I am so blessed. I am truly favored and highly blessed, and I am so grateful for all of my blessings. I'm so grateful to wake up. I'm so grateful for hot coffee. I'm so grateful for Splenda. I'm so grateful for hot showers, for toilet paper, for socks. Thank you, God, for trees, flowers. Thank you for animals. Thank you for clouds. Thank you for thunder. Thank you, God, for letting the sun come up every single day. I am happy to be alive. This person let grief of losing someone distort their reality. They became Alice in Wonderland. They were crying on the inside and felt like everyone was walking away from them. And instead of being grateful for all the things that they have, especially in the midst of grieving, of losing someone, they felt powerlessness. And so, according to that passage, when you pour into that feeling, you will start to exhibit envy, jealousy, competition, and you will perceive those emotions as being true, but really they're just altered perceptions of your own grieving process, of your grief, of your anger. They're being fractured off into these other aspects of yourself because your spirit, your soul is like, well, if you're not willing to look at this big one right here, then let me just fracture it off through your relationships. And maybe you'll see, like, by little, each relationship that you keep trying to control and do horrible things to is just, a piece, a little fraction of this whole over here that you're not looking at. And so that's how spirit works. Like, if this is too big for you to look at, then let's just focus on the envy that you have for this person. But instead of you looking at it that way, you consider your envy for that person as Bible, and you say to yourself, well, what do they have that I don't have? What makes them chosen, or whatever your envy about them. And so now it becomes a game of, let's make this person feel smaller so they can see that, shit happens in life. It's not all about gumballs and rainbows and cupcakes. Lisa's saying that this person was miserable and they had a lot of grieving. Possibly a grandfather, or a father figure passed, and they were so emotionally attached to this person that when they lost them, they lost their identity. They had no one to validate them anymore. And I had no idea they were grieving. I thought they were just being mean, so I just exited till they could be nice. Absolutely. Well, what are you supposed to do? Keep taking abuse? I have people like that too. You're not gonna, if they're not going to take accountability, like, oh, I'm being a jerk to people, I'm sorry I was being a jerk to you, I don't want you to leave my life. But when you're being a jerk to everyone, and you finally have someone who's, someone in this equation was like, well, I don't want to deal with you anymore. Like, you're just an asshole, I don't have to stick around. And so people kept leaving this person's life, and every time a person left their life, this is what they resort to, some kind of spell work. But there's one person in particular that this person targeted that was like a flower, that's like a possibly it doesn't have to be a feminine, but a high priestess energy, someone who's cloaked, protected, someone who has secret knowledge.
What is going on?
Let's close it out with the philosophy. So
Richard.
I have Richard, Larry, Philip, So Lisa is definitely saying that she had relations with some family members for bizarre reasons, possibly to be used as blackmail against her later on. She was asked for money for particular spell work against somebody. Only after she passed away, she now has the truth that this person is mentally unwell because of some kind of grieving that they haven't allowed themselves to do. Gottfried Liebens, Discourse on Metaphysics. Something we can only know through history. Thus, when we consider carefully the connection of things, we can say that from all time in Alexander's soul, there are vestiges of everything that has happened to him, and marks of everything that will happen to him, and even traces of everything that happens in the universe, even though God alone could recognize them all. That each singular substance expresses the whole. Each singular substance, each person expresses the whole in their own way, and that all of its events together with all their circumstances and the whole sequence of external things are included in its notion. Several notable paradoxes follow from this. Among others, it follows it is not true that two substances can resemble each other completely and differ only in number. And that what St. Thomas asserts on this point about angels or intelligences, that here every individual is a lowest species, is true of all substances, provided that one takes the specific difference as the geometers do with respect to their figures. It also follows that a substance can begin only by creation and end only by annihilation. That a substance is not divisible into two, that one substance cannot be constructed from two, and thus the number of substances does not naturally increase and decrease, though they are often transformed. Moreover, every substance is like a complete world and like a mirror of God, or of the whole universe, which each one expresses in its own way. The same city is variously represented depending, oh my gosh, and the picture again, because look, there's a city and there's multiple people. See at the bottom here, there's multiple people standing in a line in front of a city. When we change our perspective, we can change our whole world instantly. Absolutely. We mature when we look back and realize our mistakes and guilt. Absolutely. Somewhat as the same city is variously represented depending upon the different positions from which it is viewed. You got that right, Lake Superior. The position in which it is viewed is going to be through the lens of your own experiences, or the level of the way that it's basically talking about projection. Thus, the universe is in some way multiplied as many times as there are substances, and substances is us. It's the word they're using for us. And the glory of God is likewise multiplied by as many entirely different representations of his work. This is giving me twin flame vibes, but not in a romantic way. This is like what is that? Twin ray or something? I don't follow all that stuff, but something that I'm getting from that is like someone was the dark empath and someone was the light empath. And so because of this person's grief, they targeted someone who exhibited the things that they lacked within themselves, and they projected this very dramatic projection onto this target, and was so convinced of their projection onto this target because this target represents all the parts of them that they do not have at the moment. And so it's like a narcissist empath paradigm. Okay. And so this, whatever illusion or dream, this person's Alice in Wonderland, they're in an illusion where they believe so wholeheartedly that this person they've targeted that represents the divine part of themselves, because they're in darkness, they hate that this person exhibits all of the things that they cannot reach. And so what they did was they pretended to be of God. They pretended to have godly whatever, to be a mirror of God and the whole universe. And then the target that they bought this expensive spell work to bring an end to prosperity or whatever, they convinced a lot of people in their family who they have incestual relationships with, because they have some kind of sexual identity problem. They convinced all these people that the empath was essentially what they are. Okay, and they did that because of their inability to see themselves, their inability to see light within them, to see the meaning of life, to see a purpose within their life, because the person that gave them purpose is gone and they're angry at God. And so anything that has light in it, or believes in God, or has an emanation of God, or gets messages, that person in their eyes is evil, because God took away their person or someone they love. And so their distortion of light is because of their grieving, and they don't know how to properly grieve or process emotions when it comes to this person. It broke them. It basically shattered them. It fractured them. And so they're fractured and multiplied, and they could even possibly have a personality disorder. This could be a personality disorder. Like I'm talking about like a multiple personality disorder, because they could have a multiple or an alter that takes the place of them, that claims to be this person that talks to God, but they do some kind of rituals or something. They might not actually know that they do this. Paranoia. They might wake up and be like, why the hell is these candles lit? Why is this pentagram on the ground? But they can't tell anybody because they don't want anyone to know. Wow. It's expressing itself confusedly, and everything that's happening, they don't know if it's the past, present, or the future. They have no perception or knowledge of time, because they could also be on substances, but I am getting that they do have multiple personality disorder. And so one of their personalities is this exalted, godly omnipotent person that has connection with God, but whenever they switch, that altar is not talking to God, that altar's doing rituals and stuff. And so when this person wakes up, they don't know that they did that. And so they don't understand, why they have limitations, or why people keep dying, or why people keep leaving them. All they know is that people keep leaving them. And so every time someone leaves them, they grieve again. And boom, there's another altar. It's something like that. Agree. I agree. They serve no purpose. They serve no purpose. And so the details of their physics without explanation don't have any particular phenomenon. And they failed to seek a physician about this problem, because they believe that they can account for the properties of bodies in quantity. There's something about them when they switch altars, something about people in their life dying. They could possibly send death to people in an altered state, but they don't remember doing it. They try to examine their manner of operation, but they can't consider it because all that it consists of is insufficient, and they can't out by the clock. And they need to turn their care over to another, because they are misunderstanding and misusing the form of rejection as something for knowledge to do what is necessary in metaphysical form. But they don't properly know the principles that elevate their mind sufficiently enough to know the knowledge of corporeal nature and the wonders of God. They're in a labyrinth. Dark truths. They're in a labyrinth, in a continuum, where they need a moral philosopher and a jurist and a statesman to tell them the troubles that they are finding great difficulties in, because they keep on infringing on people's free will in God's providence. Damn. They don't find it necessary to discuss the importance of philosophy or theology, but in the same way, they can't explain the experiments that they keep on waking up to that they performed without their memory. Wow. This person has multiple personality disorder, and when they switch altars, I don't know what the trigger is for their switch, but every time they switch and they do death magic against someone and that person dies or that person leaves them, that creates another switch for them, or another altar. And so I don't know how many altars this person has, but there's a specific altar that does spell work. And when they wake up, they just don't even know that they're doing it. And they wake up scared, and it kind of like this person has a cigarette in their hand, but it's their hand color is colored like the face, the eyes are of they remind me of a Roaring 20s actress. So her altar smokes cigarettes, and she doesn't. And when she wakes up, she can taste cigarettes on her breath, and she's like in Alice in Wonderland. She literally wakes up after this altar does demonic spell work on people and then doesn't remember. But she knows something's wrong because she doesn't know where to start. It's like She doesn't want to believe in the things that she's seeing, but yet at the same time, it's in her room and it's her hands that smell like cigarettes, but she doesn't remember. That's really sad, honestly. I feel nauseous. Oh, I feel nauseous. This person has multiple personalities. And the book said, if you want to heal, if you want to follow divine light, if you don't know how to get there, then just say all the things that you're grateful for. Gratitude. Gratitude is his name. You speak all the things that you're grateful for. And if you can be grateful or find things that bring you gratitude, even in times like this, you will slowly start to understand what's going on, and you'll get God's help. Dark energy attachments. Yeah, if this person has an altar that switches and they do spell work, they're gonna have some dark energy attachments. Yes. Write down a message. This person, if they're watching, they should write a letter to their altar before they switch. Because this altar is very overindulgent. It could be a sibling. There could be a sibling involved. I told you there's a divine femme. They're attacking a divine femme. That's why had to take out a loan. Lisa had to take out a loan. It may have consulted an oracle because this person refuses to grieve properly. Find joy now. Find joy now. Sunday. Drink more water. Black magic killed me. Well, I think this is Kingy. This is Kingy. That's my sister's father. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know. Now you do. It's a heavy one today, guys. That's heavy, man. If you don't even know you have, I'm not a psychologist and I don't pretend to be one, but spiritually, oh my gosh. Let me write that down. Our next episode of Spirit News is how Spirit views identity, and it would be very interesting to know how Spirit views altars when someone switches altars. How can we heal it? How can we help? What can we do to help? Is there something we could do to help? I am light. Yeah, absolutely. That's what helped me. When Spirit told me that we're all a spark of divine light having a human experience, it really just helped me to accept and surrender that I don't have all the answers, that I don't have control, that if I'm a divine spark and I chose to be here and I'm a part of God, then wouldn't I have like some innate knowing that everything's going to be just fine. And when I started to tell myself that every day, and I meditated on that, and I really just accepted that as truth, it really just helped me to let go of controlling outcomes, of seeking validation, of needing answers, to just kind of being. I'm just, if I'm divine, and that's when I am innately, then that means that all of the pain I feel, or all of the trauma I went through, it means that I go back to being divine. So that means that this stuff is temporary. And for me, in my personally, that like clicked for me. And so I am light, accepting that you are not the things that happen to you. That's just the experiences that unfolded for you in this incarnation. And honestly, looking at a lot of my past lives, I've lived through worse. I have literally been through worse. And so when you accept that you are light, and that this isn't your first time, and this isn't the worst you've been through, and it's not going to be the last thing you go through, and these are just things that help to solidify that all of these uncomfortable feelings are temporary, and they're not here to hurt you or to cause you suffering, but to help turn you into a diamond. Okay, to help you turn into a diamond. I always have hope, no matter the ordeal. I have faith in a better future. I turn darkness into light. I open my heart to others and to God. Am spiritually strong. I draw light to me and shine with all my being. Absolutely. Choice. Free will. You might feel a certain way. You might have emotions that you think are permanent, but it's not true. They come and go. And essentially, it all comes down to choice. You choose to act in these ways. You choose to not accept. You choose to not grieve. You choose to hurt people. You choose to hurt somebody who is a representation of what you're lacking right now in this moment in your mind. But it doesn't mean that you're actually lacking that. You are an infinite being of love and light. You aren't actually lacking that. You never can lack it, and you never will. And the minute you accept that that's a choice to think that you're in lack, is the minute new openings will open for you. Okay, where you can release these things that hold you back from having courage to face what's true about yourself, and to know that you have goodness in you, and you don't need anyone else to be validated or to be made to feel good. Yeah, you guys, that was like pulling teeth. Thank you, Lisa. So now, in Lisa sacrificed herself, and she may have allowed somebody else around her to alter her perspective, who was an altered state, who is in an altered state. And so it just comes down to us and trusting when somebody comes to us. Thank you, Lake Superior. Trusting and asking God for clarity. Is this the right move? Should I trust this person? Is what this person's saying to me true? These are things that we need to rely on God for, to rely on our higher selves for, to get a higher perspective of people that we're supposed to trust, that we're supposed to think has our back. But they could be in an altered state, and you would never know. They could have a multiple personality disorder, and you would never know. But you take their bizarre requests because they pay you money or because they blackmail you, and you think that you're supposed to do that, and yet your life is falling apart. You're sexually promiscuous. You contract HIV. You end up unaliving yourself through pills and alcohol because you can't even face what you've done. You realize that you trusted somebody who actually targeted somebody who's walks with God, and they don't. And so this is the ultimate lesson, that you cannot take what people say at face value, and you can't accept money from people to do weird things. Everything artsy! Woo woo! I was just thinking of you the other day. Hello. Hope everything is well. So Lisa sees that now, and Lisa was in purgatory. This took me 2 hours to get this out. She was in purgatory because she trusted a family member, a cousin that she had relations with. This cousin possibly could have even created an altar based upon this person rejecting them, because this person's completely fractured. Okay, and she may have wanted a relationship with this cousin, but when this cousin released her or rejected her, that's when she maybe sent spell work at her. I don't know. It says black magic killed me. Okay, I don't know. I love you guys. This was a long one. I'm so sorry. I needed a big sister like you in my life. Too bad I was the oldest child. Well, I'm the little sister. I'm a little sister. We could be soul siblings. Thanks for always supporting us. We appreciate you. Oh, no problem, Artsy. You're always here in energy. Never separated in energy. Always with us. Well, this was a random one. I like doing these random ones if there's time. It'll usually be on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. But I love you guys. I'm going to go work out now. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.